There is, but the cool thing is there are like, dude, there was a thing about like how hipsters are hitting the Middle East now. That was actually pretty. That was in.
How hipsters are doing what?
There's hipsters. The hipsters are spreading now.
Oh, you mean being a hipster? I thought you meant hipsters from New York are going to fucking the Middle East.
No,
What?
no. Only if they work for Vice. But
True.
No, there's a spreading phenomenon right now of people who go and get like educated abroad and come back to like I think it was even like in Sudan and like in Afghanistan. Well, they'll open like fancy coffee shops, and there was dudes who were in like
They do love coffee over there.
Well, it's just funny to me that the Taliban's eventually going to encounter hipsters and be like, "What the fuck?" Because there's dudes who are getting like their beards like neatly manicured out there and getting like cool tattoos. And you're not allowed to get tattoos. You're not allowed to get tattoos out there. So, dude, if we pull the troops out, Afghani hipsters are about to get fucked up, dude.
They are going to get crushed. They're just going to make an amendment to Sharia law to be like, also, you can't be cool. You can't be fucking cool.
They're pushing, dude.
That's probably in Sharia law. That's cool.
Moving the thing of hipsterism is moving globally now. Just being like, and they were saying there's like a certain, if you give it like an unfinished or like a cool wood look, and that's like the universal sign of like, we care about stuff here.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's pretty funny that thinking of Afghani hipsters makes me laugh. Thinking of hipsters in the suburbs makes me kind of chuckle. Did you ever see? There's like always lone hipsters out there, but you think about someone taken out to Afghanistan, and be like, actually, dude, I kind of like the beginning of the Quran. Like, all right, dude.
Yeah, the early stuff in the Quran was pretty sad. And then just
Quran actually never condemned slavery. Does the Bible condemn slavery? I was reading a thing today.
I think
not in The Economist. It was a different.
I think the New Testament probably does, but
I think the New Testament.
Old Testament had some rules on slavery.
Did it?
Yeah. How to handle business.
How to handle.
Yeah.
Well, dude, I was reading about
how to be gangster.
How to be Yeah, I was that book I was reading about debt was talking about like how they used to just use basically women as like women were the first form of currency. You would just get chicks, and they were talking about in Africa and how like they were just like it wasn't even there were slaves, but they were more so like this idea of pawns. Like you would have a pawn. So like if somebody killed your brother, you'd be like, dude, you'd have a couple options but you could just be like, all right, dude, you got to give me your sister. We're never going to be even, Steven.
Yeah.
But your sister's going to be my pawn now. So then like your sister would have kids, and then all of her kids become your pawns. So they're not like, you don't like own them really, but like they're people you get to trade in the event of like if you do something fucked up, if you have a bunch of pawns.
Yeah, if you get a DUI, you can be like, yo, here's my nephew.
Yeah, if you're drunk and you just like, cut some dude's head off on accident, and you can just be like, yo, my bad. But the problem is if you cut a dude's head off, then the brother could, so with the sister you give him, he can then turn her into a ghost wife where he'll cream pie the sister you give him. And then she'll bear a kid, and everyone tells the kid in the village is like, oh yeah, your dad's a ghost and he was the one who cream pied your mom, and you kind of have to go avenge his death and find the guy who gave your mom basically and kill her brother. It's pretty sick. But they could get into they get into that. They get into village wives, which just might be the funniest fucking thing in the world.
Yeah.
So like
you talked about this.
I didn't get into detail about it. They talked about
Did you tell me about the village wife?
I told you about village wives.
All right.
So they would have the elders. So basically, when you came up, when you're a young kid in these villages, I think it was like Calabar around that area, right? I think Nigeria. My geography is getting off the hook. I'm not being Calabar.
I don't know if I've even heard of Calabar.
It's a port city around. It's west coast of Africa. Dude, I'm not trying to step on geography.
You can't. You can't.
But they were talking about how instead of money, the whole point of the book is like how did the concept of money originate? And this one society, what they did, you had to give people cloths or copper bars. So like when you came up, you would just have these cloths that people could use and turn into clothes. But if like say you needed something from someone who was older, you'd have to. There's these little like rituals you'd constantly be giving the older people cloths, and that was like so. It was like imagine your communion money.
Yeah.
But you got communion, you had to pay all the old people you knew. So what happens is eventually all the old people have all the shit. If you have stuff, then you can get wives. So like all the dudes were fucking incels basically. Yeah. Because like your dad would have like 9 wives. If you like coveted them, it was like a bet you weren't allowed to do that. It was fucked up. But so what happened is they would have these old dudes. They'd all have like 5 wives, and then dudes would have nothing because the whole society was built around giving your elders like all of your shit basically. So like the dudes are planning seductions. So, like, if you're a dude, you would walk around and just tell stories about how you're gonna like fuck your uncle's wife.
Nice. That hasn't left us at all.
Dude, you'd have to tell you.
They'd go around and basically verbalize Pornhubs. They'd be like, yo. She's going to get stuck in the mud down by the river.
But then if you got caught seducing, you would have to then pay more costs, and then like you might have to fork a pawn. Like, dude, it's so fucking funny. But the whole thing culminates in like they call this a human economy, where people are more or less the currency. And then they say like, you know, commercial economies like Europeans came down with like so many fucking cloths, so many copper bars. They're like, you guys want some of this shit? They're like, all right, you can sell it, but you got to give us like some of your pawns, some of your children, and we'll hold them as collateral, and then you can go sell it. And they would get people deep into debt and be like, go get us some fucking slaves. And they'd be like, otherwise you're fucked. We're going to take you and your whole family. Yeah. So that they started kind of doing that all through the thing. And, you know, I'm listening to this being like, oh, African people sold slaves. Oh my God, I can't believe he's talking about this. Oh my God. White people aren't that bad. And then the next chapter is literally how like Ireland was all just a purely slave economy. Because they said the Irish were slaves. That was it was cattle and women in medieval Ireland that were the forms of currency. You'd have to get sisters, dude. And you're like, dude, I have so many sisters. I'm fucking rich. And you would just trade them away and sell them. It was 3 cattle were worth, I think, a woman I think 3 women are worth 1 cat. Something crazy, dude. But yeah, that was making me laugh. I was on my high horse, like, well, wasn't all white people doing it? And then I was just like, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
Ireland had fucking.
Yeah, it turns out everybody was bad historically.
Yeah, Ireland had.
Watch out.
But the analogy they said, it'd be like, if like aliens came and were just like, yo, we'll give you $1 million, just go grab me someone. It's like, would you deny it? Would you not do it? It's like, aliens with weapons you couldn't even fathom just hit you with like, yo, you want $1 million right now?
Yeah.
Go grab that dude. So people are like, oh, it's like pretty compelling. But yeah, it was, dude, that shit was pumping me up, dude. The idea of ghost wives, the village. Oh, then the whole thing was, so they had these, so these young dudes were just planning seductions, dude. They're just pickup artists, dude. They're out there trying to.
What type of seductions? Did they give you any examples, or what did you have in mind?
Well,
or like, what would you do?
I don't know.
How would you seduce your aunt?
I think you'd have to like hoard some cloths first of all. You'd have
Tell you
to,
how you could seduce mine.
How?
Booze.
Oh yeah. Oh well, that was.
That was a pretty easy one.
I'm sure you could definitely apply them to something, but the thing, I think you'd have to get like delicacies. You'd have to like go catch like a rare animal and be like, "Oh, did you ever try that?"
Check this out.
But they also
spring the trap.
Yeah, I mean kidnappings were pretty common. That was like a big thing. Like if you couldn't seduce your aunt, then you could go kidnap like a woman from like a rival village. But so like the young dudes would go to like the head dude and be like on like a compound and be like, "Yo, we're dying. We need some pussy." And they're like, "Go fucking raid a village, you bitch. Go steal someone's daughter." And they'd be like, "All right." So they would petition like, "All right, you got it. Go ahead and do this." And then they would go, or they would raid a village and steal somebody, or like if somebody was getting as a pawn getting thrown into a marriage they didn't want to do, they could run from their village and claim asylum, and then they were a village wife. That's what I was talking about.
Yes.
So the young dudes, basically the young dudes, if they like pleaded enough, they could all go in and split a wife. So they could build a crash pad, go steal a lady from a village, and then be like, you're the village wife, and they were just all just like 14 dudes just be fucking like boning this chick, and then they would go out during the day and be like, "Man, I love our wife so much." They would all go try to like hunt her the coolest stuff, and they'd all compete for like the you know, eventually.
So it was like The Bachelor.
It literally was The Bachelor, dude.
Yeah.
It was The Bachelorette.
Pardon me.
Yeah, so they would go out and be like, "Oh, I love you so much. Here's this thing," and dude, it was really funny, man. Think about just you and all your boys with a crash pad and one wife.
She's the best.
Dude, we love her, dude. Our wife is so.
I mean, that
beautiful.
would turn into murder.
Well, hence the need for pawns. Yeah. So then you know, they were basically saying the one anthropologist was like just telling them how like
think about like dudes pussy bragging.
Oh, dude.
Like, yo, I fucked our wife so good last night. They're like, all right, man, let's take it easy.
It was just 4 dudes in the woods being like, "She loves me more than you," and they'd be like, "She loves me the most."
Damn.
But yeah, man, dude, that was making just having the village wife, and then I think the kids were then the responsibility of the entire village, and you know, blah blah blah. So, but yeah, dude, pawn ship rules. We gotta get back into a pawn setup. It's not slavery. It's just like you get pawns, dude. You get pawns.
What do you think we could get for Noah?
As a pawn?
Yeah.
Yeah, dudes don't really fetch a high value. No, you got any sisters?
I have a younger sister.
There we go.
How old?
No, we're just asking for economic, just for human economy purposes.
What's your Instagram? Don't say her Instagram.
Don't, yeah.
Please don't.
Yeah, like I said, yeah, sister, good. But yeah, dudes aren't bad. It all depends. The other thing too is you can get a bunch of dudes, and if you want like a sick entourage, that's the other thing too. You get a bunch of pawns, or you get slaves. And you wouldn't make them work or anything, but yo, I'm going to the market today. You guys gotta pump me up, dude.
It's not bad.
It was pretty tight.
Just get hype, man.
You get hype, man, dude. You would just get an entourage of dudes who would be, you'd be like, come on, man, it's time for the market. Get hype on me, dude. like I kind of miss my family. Like, shut up, dude. Come on. But yeah, dude, that shit was making me laugh so fucking hard.
This is something that I experienced. I watched Children of Men. That movie?
Yeah.
But in that movie, there's a scene where a bomb goes off and he's got ring in his ears. And the lady's like, that noise you're hearing is a frequency that your ears will never be able to produce again. Whenever you have a ringing in your ear, that's what that is. And I remember one time in a car, a dude told me that. I was like, yeah, my fucking ear's ringing. He's like, yeah, do you know what that is? And he just regurgitated a line from Children of Men. You ever hear somebody give you a fact from a movie and then you see the movie later and you're like, oh, that's where he fucking...
No,
I've been believing this.
I think so, yeah.
Like in the movie Contagion, they're like, the average person touches their face once every fucking 20 seconds. Mm-hmm. I've heard people repeat that.
Is it true?
There's just, I don't know. But there's just certain, like, Wes was the one, by the way, Lemaire, who told me that. We were in the car and he said that and I was like, damn, that's a fucking interesting fact. And then, a decade later I'm watching a movie at 2 a.m. like, that fucking idiot. I believed this.
So wait, the thing in the movie was from a flashbang.
Yeah, it was just a grenade went off and he had a ringing in his ear.
Yeah.
And the lady was like, that ringing is the last time you'll ever hear that frequency. That's your eardrum.
You were just having a
And I would just, we were just driving and I was like, damn, I can hear it. There's like a ringing in my ear.
Yeah. Yeah, of course you'll hear that again. What the fuck?
I don't know what was going on there. But I believed it.
True.
He said it with some conviction.
He's like, you'll never hear that exact.
He's like, that's just a certain frequency that your ear won't be able to pick up again because of that buzz. Now, I don't know if that's true or not, but I know that he got the exact line from Children of Men.
Yeah, but the flashbang...
Whether or not Children of Men is telling the truth, I'm not sure.
I mean, the flashbang makes sense because it's so fucking loud that it probably damages your hearing a little bit, so you'll probably never be able to hear that again. So is that like the sound leaving your ear to like never return?
I'm not sure.
Huh.
I don't know the science of it because I think it's wrong.
I mean, I've definitely done that before where I've taken stuff from movies and just been like, let's roll.
Yeah, this is true.
Let's go.
Yeah.
100%.
But it's always funny when you finally see the movie years later and you're like,
son of a bitch.
I believe that. Like, there's certain things will tell me, people will say something or say, like, it'll just stay with me forever. Mm-hmm. Like, certain things will just always, like, I'll be doing something and every time I do something, I'll think of the same thing. It's crazy.
Real, like almost like a deja vu or like...
Not deja vu, just like an OCD type. Like every single time I play FIFA, I think of the first time my friend saw me playing FIFA and what he said. Every single time I play.
What did he say?
He was like, oh, the point of it, it's stupid. It makes no sense. There's no reason to remember this. But he was like, oh, the point of this is to drag the other team's defense out and then pass behind them. That's all he said. And now every single time I play FIFA, I think of where I was and when he said that. Pretty crazy.
How long do you think about it for?
1 second, and then I'm like, why the fuck am I still thinking about the same goddamn pointless quote?
That sounds torturous.
There's a lot of those. I have a lot of those.
Just things that pop up constantly?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Who knows?
What you're describing, I have moments like that. I can't put them into words, but I'll just be doing a thing, and I'll have a thought that's just so stupid and pointless that I'll just go like, fuck.
Yeah.
Fuck. Yeah, I kind of know what you're talking
Tommy
about.
has that. Tommy, every time he puts his pants on, he thinks of you and me making fun of anybody that would roll the bottom of their jeans. Literally every time he gets ready in the morning, he's like, he'll say it to me if I'm there. He'll repeat what we said. He's like, can you imagine being the type of guy that would roll the bottom of his fucking jeans? And every time I'm like, I'm sorry.
Does he roll he wants to roll his jeans?
Yeah, he has the bottom of his jeans rolled.
So he rolls
every time he puts those pants on, he says that. Because he heard us making fun of that.
When did we make fun? I don't even remember that.
That's what I say. I'm like, I don't know if that was us. He's like, it was you.
I'm pretty sure
it was you. And then now also whenever he puts cologne on, he does the same thing.
I mean, dude,
we're like, who the fuck puts cologne on? And then one time, I'm sitting there playing FIFA thinking about my dumb friend's quote. And then Tommy's putting cologne on thinking of my dumb quote right behind me. He's like, can you imagine putting fucking cologne on? And I'm like, I'm sorry, dude. I didn't mean it.
Yeah, I went hard on cigarette smokers recently. I was like making a point.
Cigarette smoking rules.
I was talking about how they're most likely, if you have a company full of people and you're trying to figure out who complains the most, just look for people with cigarettes on them.